13 Steps Down, Part 3. What Returns? Silence. Not the kind that sits quietly in a room, but the kind that fills it completely, pressing against your ears until you start to hear your own blood. I open my eyes to gray light filtering through the window. Dust drifts in slow motion, catching the pale beam like snow underwater. The air tastes of iron and smoke. My head rests against the floorboards, and I don't remember lying down. The cellar door is open. It hangs crooked, the hinges groaning softly each time the wind touches the house. The light from above doesn't reach far, just a strip of brightness along the first few planks, fading quickly into shadow. I push myself up, my palms leaving faint prints in the dust. My shirt is damp. The air around me feels wrong, heavier, like I've been breathing it for hours. I whisper her name, not a call, just a test. Lily, no answer. The word disappears into the boards, swallowed whole. There are no footsteps leading to the door, none leaving it either. Only the faint indent of my knees near where I fell. I can't remember what happened last. The sound, the stairs, her voice, then nothing. Just the hollow that comes after sound. When I stand, the house moves slightly. The boards flex beneath my feet, groaning low, almost like a sigh. It's the same sound I used to hear when I first stepped on the 13th step, that deep living tone that vibrates in your ribs. The clock on the wall has stopped again, 7:14. I call her name once more. Lily? It feels like speaking underwater. The sound travels slow, thick, like something resisting it. Then, faintly, from somewhere deeper in the house, comes a whisper. It's not words, not yet. Just a shape of breath that almost forms my name. I freeze. It fades, replaced by the familiar rhythm of dripping water. Somewhere beneath the floor, a slow, steady beat, like the house is counting time in its own language. I take a step toward the cellar, half expecting to see her standing there, her lantern light breaking through the dark. But there's only the open doorway and a faint smell of wet earth. The stairs are gone. Not collapsed and gone, the space below is just black, a hollow that swallows light. My breath echoes back at me, delayed by half a second. Lily. This time I hear it clearly, a reply, soft and calm, from somewhere deep below. Evan. Her voice, it's her voice. The sound of her voice freezes me mid-breath. It isn't loud, it isn't echoing, it's close. The kind of nearness that lives inside your own throat. I whisper again, Lily? Nothing. Only that slow, steady drip somewhere beneath the floorboards, and then a faint hum that could be wind or could be breath. I kneel beside the opening where the stairs used to be. The smell of damp soil rises up and something sweeter under it, like cedar and ash. My lantern is gone, but a thin band of morning light cuts across the gap and vanishes halfway down. I try to judge the depth. The darkness doesn't answer. For hours, I think hours, I stay near that hole. Sometimes I speak, sometimes I listen. Each time I say her name, the house seems to shift slightly, boards tightening, walls flexing, like it's waiting for something precise in the way I pronounce it. When I finally stand, my knees crack. I try the door to the yard. It won't open. The knob turns, but the wood swells against the frame. The windows blur with condensation from the inside. It feels as though the house has sealed itself. I light a candle. The flame flickers toward the cellar. I could swear the air down there moves in time with it, breathing in when I breathe out. That night, the whisper returns. It threads through the boards, soft and slow. Evan, I answer before I can stop myself. I'm here. The air warms around me. The drip below stops. Silence again. Then, faintly, a second sound joins. Footsteps? No, too light, more like someone tracing fingers along wood. They travel upward, from beneath the floor, toward where I stand. Each one lands a heartbeat apart, rhythmic, patient. When it reaches me, it stops. I whisper, Where are you? The answer comes from behind me this time, close enough to raise the hair on my neck. Everywhere. I turn, but there's only the empty room. My candle burns low, throwing the walls into motion, shadows bending, stretching, as though the house itself is breathing. I spend the next day trying to leave. Every door opens to another room. The hall where the front door should be ends in a blank wall. When I walk upstairs, I find myself descending again. My body tires, but I never reach the top or bottom. The house folds in small, slow pulses, rearranging around me. Round. That night I wake to her humming, a low melody I recognize. The tune she used to hum while painting. It comes from the walls, from the floor, from my own chest. I hum with it at first to prove it's only memory, but the longer I match the sound, the warmer the air grows. When I stop, the house exhales, a long, shuddering sigh that rattles the windows. A single word follows, clear this time. Closer. I find myself back at the cellar's edge. The blackness below looks different now, as though it's filled with smoke that moves without light. I lower the candle. The flame stretches downward, and for a heartbeat, I see shapes, steps again, but they curve upward and vanish into the ceiling, looping like ribs. Lily? Her voice answers from everywhere and nowhere. You found me. I should be afraid, but the sound carries warmth, familiarity, the kind of tone she used when she'd whisper to wake me. My eyes sting. What happened to you? She laughs softly, and the sound echoes 3 times before fading. Nothing happened. I just remembered the way back. The candle gutters. Darkness folds over my hands. The boards beneath me vibrate gently, a heartbeat not mine. I can't see you, I whisper. I know, she says, but you can hear me. That's closer than seeing. The next days, or maybe it's only one day drawn thin, pass in fragments. I hear her footsteps above me when I'm downstairs, below me when I climb. Sometimes she whispers words I don't understand, syllables that taste like dust and rain. Each time she speaks, the house answers with a faint creak as though acknowledging her. Eventually, I stop questioning whether she's alive. She is the sound itself, the hum in the wood, the rhythm in my pulse. I start speaking to her out loud, telling her everything I remember, the first time I saw the house, the way the pines bent in the wind, the color of the lake that day we thought we were lost. The echoes return my words slightly out of time, my voice blending with hers until I can't tell which of us is speaking. One evening, or what feels like evening, I find new stairs. They rise where the kitchen wall should be. Smooth wood, freshly cut, leading upward into a glow that doesn't belong to any light I've ever seen. I climb. The steps hum under my weight, low and steady. Halfway up, I realize each creak falls in perfect rhythm with a heartbeat, the same one that's been under the floor. At the top, I expect to find the attic. Instead, I step into the basement. The geometry has turned itself inside out. The house breathes in slow waves, the walls pulsing faintly, as if drawing air through me. Her voice is clear now, right beside my ear. You came back late. I tried to find you, I say. You did. The air thickens with warmth, and the dark below begins to shimmer, a slow swirl of light and dust. It looks like water turned to glass. My reflection wavers in it, then hers overlays mine. I reach out, the surface yields like breath on skin. Lily, I whisper, can I come home? The answer arrives not as words, but as the same rhythm I've heard since the first day in this house, a single steady pulse, rising from the depths. I take a breath and step forward. The air wraps around me, soft as fabric, smelling of cedar and rain. My feet find invisible steps descending through nothing. Each one sounds different, a note in a song I've known all along. When I reach what should be the last, I pause. There's another below it, warm, new, the 14th. Her voice speaks inside my breath. 14? I close my eyes. For a moment, I feel her hand in mine, cool, certain, real. The air expands around us and the house releases a long, quiet sigh. It feels like peace. Then the sound fades and everything becomes still again. I hope you enjoyed part 3. Please come back for part 4 and the conclusion of this story. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day.